Limitless Sports with the BD team, coming up next.
Welcome back to Limitless Sports with Brennan and Dave. We are here on an early Sunday morning getting our recording in before Dave has a huge day of softball headed up his way. So we're going to get in and get out today. We got a bunch of NFL content with a lot of contract negotiation things, and we both did our own mock drafts, and we're going to compare and contrast how these work. So, Brennan, how you doing this Sunday morning?
Dave, I'm great. There's nothing like being up on a beautiful Sunday morning. It's about a little over 60 degrees out, I'd say, already. So it's nice to know summer's knocking on the door.
Yeah, even though we're in here at, 7 o'clock in the morning, but we're okay. So, let's jump into our mock drafts. We're going to go 16 picks at a time and talk about what we have, and then we're going to contrast, and then we'll go to the next 16.
Yep.
Alright, so I'll go ahead first. It's changed a lot since the last one, in my opinion.
Trades have happened. Guys have gotten hurt at pro days in the combine. People have fallen out of the first round. People have moved up into the first round.
Absolutely.
Extensions have got done, which eliminated the draft needs, people think. So, yeah, a lot's changed.
All right, so I got number 1 overall, Aiden Hutchinson again, edge rusher from Michigan. I think this is a slam dunk. I don't think the Jaguars are going to go any other way. Then I went to Derek Stingley from LSU. He's coming up the boards a lot. I think he's going to be a phenomenal corner. I think they're a little bit nervous about doing that pick because of Jeff Okudah not actually pursuing, but they'll be okay. 3, the tackle from North Carolina State, Ikem Okonuwu. 4, Ahmad Gardner, corner from Cincinnati. 5, the Giants, Kayvon Thibodeau, edge rusher from Oregon. 6, my first quarterback's going to go off the board to Malik Willis. I think that's the first one, and then dominoes will fall after that. 7, to the Giants, I've got Charles Cross, tackle from Mississippi State. 8, to the Falcons, because he's not only a tackle, he's also a guard, and they need guard and center help. I've got Evan Neal from Alabama. 9, to the Seahawks is George Karlaftis, the Purdue edge rusher. 10, Drake London, receiver, to the Jets. 11, I have a trade. I have Baltimore trading up and flopping with Washington, and they're going to go get Trayvon Walker, edge rusher from Georgia. 12, Trent McDuffie, cornerback from Washington, is going to go to Minnesota. 13, Kyle Hamilton, who I had as his number 2 pick earlier in the season.
We both did.
Falls down to 13 to the Texans. 14, because I think the Commanders need linebacker help. That's why I had them trading down, and they're going to get Devin Lloyd at 14 from Utah. Phenomenal linebacker. And closing out 2 more picks. And in 15, then this next linebacker will come off the board, Nakobe Dean from Georgia. And 16, rounding out the first half, I've got my boy Garrett Wilson going to the Saints. What do you got?
Wow. That's a good first half, but 1 and 2, I still have the same as you have. Aiden Hutchinson, the big defensive end out of Michigan. I think, like you said, it's a slam dunk at this point.
They might as well just announce it now.
Yeah. Number 2, I do have Derek Stingley, the cornerback out of LSU.
They need second.
Very, very promising player. 3, I actually have a tackle going, not the same one as you. I have big tackle Charles Cross going.
Okay.
At Mississippi State. 4, Ahmad Sauce Gardner. 5, I actually have the Giants going Evan Neal, big tackle out of Alabama, protect Danny Dimes. 6, I have Malik Willis. 7, I have a trade.
Well, I'll say, because that's what I thought of. They wanted tackle, but if Kayvon Thibodeau is available,
yep,
they can get both at 5 and 7 if they don't have a trade.
Yeah, well, here's my trade, and they can still get a good quality edge rusher later in the draft where they traded to. I have the Steelers trading up into the top 10, going after the quarterback. A few weeks back, we tragic loss in Dwayne Haskins. If that doesn't happen, this trade doesn't happen. Quarterback play is very desperate in this league. People are desperate for it. I have the Steelers trading into the top 7 and taking the boy out of Pittsburgh, Kenny Pickett. Okay. 8, I have Devontae Wyatt, the big defensive tackle out of Georgia. 9, I have Kayvon Thibodeau falling to the Seattle Seahawks. Great pick for them. 10, I have Jamison Williams going to the New York Jets. I think he's the best overall wide receiver in this draft class. I'm taking out the injury factor. So I think he's the most promising. Kyle Hamilton, I have him falling to 11. Washington doesn't need safeties per se.
Best player available.
Best player available case. Generational player, they're saying. Mm-hmm. He can come down and play linebacker in the box. He's a great safety. 12 to the Vikings, I have George Karlaftis, the edge out of Purdue. They need edge help playing against Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers for at least 2 to 4 more years.
I like it.
You're going to need edge rushers. 13, I have Trent McDuffie, the cornerback out of Washington. 14, I have the big defensive lineman Jordan Davis go to the Baltimore Ravens. He fits the mold of a Baltimore Raven, fits their defensive style. 15, I have Devin Lloyd from Utah, the linebacker, going to the Philadelphia Eagles. And 16, I have Drake London, the wide receiver, going to the New Orleans Saints, and they'll eventually move on for Michael Thomas.
So we're very comparable. A couple of big ones in my opinion. I don't see Jamison Williams going before Wilson and London because of the injury. I think that's what's going to set him back. I think people are going to be a little bit cautious, and I'm going to tell you where I have him going next. But and then my other thing is, like, with having, for the Ravens, with having Calais Campbell come back, I don't know if they're really going to want interior linemen or they're going to want edge rushers. They're going to take one of the two.
See, because Calais Campbell does and has played both.
Correct. He's getting older. So he's been shifting more inside than anything. I don't think they've had an edge rusher since Terrell Suggs that's really been someone that's dominant. That's why
that whole early regime from the mid 2000s, Suggs, Bart Scott, Ray Lewis, they've never really replaced that.
No.
And Patrick Queen is good. He's not great, but he's good.
It's good.
So, and then last year they drafted Owen out of Penn State. I think that helped out a whole hell of a lot too.
Oh yeah, I think, and you're going to see why I don't think the Steelers need to trade up, and we're going to talk about this next. All right, so then let's go 17 to 32 in mine. I ended up sneaking a surprise in there Brennan doesn't know about, but all right, 17 is where I have Jamison Williams falling to the Chargers because I think once Garrett Wilson's off the board, I think he's going to go right next. As if they pick Jamison Williams, then I have a trade. I have the Patriots trading with the Eagles, just flopping picks, getting something else, trading up, and taking Chris Olave, 18th overall. 19th overall, my second quarterback's going to come off the board. And this is why I don't think the Steelers have to jump, because Sam Howell will go to the Saints at 19. They don't like Kenny Pickett, and because number 20th overall will be the hometown kid, Kenny Pickett will go to the Steelers. 21. The Eagles' second helping spot that they need is defensive back. They can trade down, get another pick. Andrew Booth will be available. They're going to take Andrew Booth, corner out of Clemson. 22. I think that Aaron Rodgers can throw to any receiver, and they need some offensive line help, so I have them taking the big tackle from Central Michigan, Bernard Raymond, at 22. 23, I have center Tyler Lindenbaum from Iowa. 24 is where I have Jordan Davis falling to the Cowboys. 25 is Devontae Wyatt, defensive tackle from Georgia, to the Bills. 26, our first true guard coming off the board, Boston College's Zion Johnson, going to the Titans. 27, I think it's a different pick, and I think Tom Brady will influence this one. He likes smaller schools. He likes, that kind of name player. They're going to take Travis Jones, defensive tackle from Connecticut. I think they need some interior D-line help there. With the Packers taking a tackle at 22, I have them taking a receiver at 28, and Sky Moore, wide receiver out of Western Michigan. I really like this kid, Western Pennsylvania kid. I think he'll do great in the slot there for Green Bay. Then I have a trade. I have the Bengals trading up and flopping with the Chiefs, so 29 for 31. The Bengals are going to go up and take a tackle from Tulsa, Tyler Smith, to secure some of their tackle needs. Then I have a new receiver in the top 32, and George Pickens, big body receiver, I think will do really well now with Kansas City because of Juju coming in. I think they need a big guy on the outsides. Then I have them taking 31st overall, Kari Elam from Florida, cornerback, because they need some secondary help. And then I did put a fourth quarterback off the board, 32 overall, Matt Corral, Mississippi. Excuse me. So
that Matt Corral pick is nice, but the Lions pick again on 34, and that was my concern.
I agree.
Because nobody between there, I don't think, is a quarterback. So Here's my 17th pick. I don't see the Chargers going receiver. You still have Keenan Allen, who is still elite, and Mike Williams is starting to come on since he has a...
The reason why I argue it is because they need more talent to compete in that division.
They do. But you also need to do in that protection
Block.
division? Protect your quarterback. Akeem Awan, tackle out of North Carolina State. I have him falling to 17.
You had him number 1 overall before.
I did. And that's when I was like, protect the Cadillac. But Aiden Hutchinson's pro day and everything was just so terrific. You can't pass on him now on one. At 18, I have a trade. I have the Eagles trading with the Bills. Okay. I have the Bills moving up to 18, taking Garrett Wilson, putting him with Stephon Diggs.
If he's still available, I can see them trading.
Now you have Gabriel Davis playing the slot. You have Garrett Wilson and Stephon Diggs.
And, to be honest, the Eagles need that corner. He's still going to be available down there. He's not going to jump.
At 19, I have Sam Howell, the quarterback from North Carolina, going to New Orleans.
Yep.
20, Giants get their edge rusher, Trayvon Walker. Lands at 20.
I'll be surprised if he goes all the way to 20.
Some people have him at 20. Some people have him at 3.
I know.
I don't understand it.
No.
Number 21, I have the New England Patriots on the board. I have him taking Nakobe Dean at the linebacker out of Georgia. 22, we have the same pick, Bernard Raymond, the big tackle out of Central Michigan. 23, Cardinals get their guy, center Tyler Linderbaum. 24, Cowboys can go a couple different ways.
Yeah.
I have them going the tackle, Tyler Smith out of Tulsa.
Okay.
25, Andrew Booth still on the board. Eagles get their guy.
Yep.
26, Chris Olave. Who knows if A.J. Brown's even going to play this year because the wide receiver market right now is crazy. But Olave and Brown's going to be a nice duo for years to come. 27, the Bucks. They need offensive line help. I like Zion Johnson, the big guard out of Boston College, going and protected Tom Brady.
If he's still there, yes. Mm-hmm. I think that Titans also need to protect the offensive line a little bit. They're lacking.
Deep offensive line draft, deep wide receiver draft.
Yes.
Those picks could even flop, and I wouldn't even be shocked.
Absolutely.
28, Sky Moore, Green Bay Packers. They need wide receivers. They don't even have one on the roster right now, I don't think.
Yeah, they do. Sammy Watkins.
Oh, yeah, they just signed Sammy Watkins to that one-year deal. 29, I have George Pickens, wide receiver from Georgia, going. Skyrocketed up people's boards late. Had an outstanding pro day. 30 to the Chiefs as well. I have Jalen Pright, the cornerback out of Baylor.
I was going back and forth.
They take Big 12 players. Big 12 players pan out for them.
Yeah.
31, the Bengals get their tackle. Trevor Penning, the northern tackle out of Northern Iowa, is going to fall since the surgence of some other tackles. And then 32, Detroit gets their edge rusher, Jermaine Johnson, the second out of Florida State.
I like that. I think some another comparable picks that we have compared to each other. It's hard because there has been so much change since we did it a couple weeks ago. And, I mean, I could see this going 6,000 different ways. It's very... There's not a clear-cut top 10, here's the guys that are going to happen. I think this is one of the deepest draft classes the entire NFL has had. Because quarterback's not that heavy. And I think that's what's making it such a crazy time, is that with quarterback not being so heavy, you don't have 1, 2, 3 are going to be quarterbacks and then everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about every single player now, and it's going to make things a little bit different. I don't know. I'm really interested to see how Thursday night goes. One thing I do not like about the Thursday night is, like, we all have to go to work Friday morning.
Yeah, I know. I wish they'd start doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, it's just I don't understand why they chose to do it this way, but I think it will end up
because it's on TV and it brings money. That's why they do it this way.
Well, you're not wrong.
Speaking of getting into money, before we get into all the contract talk, so Friday night I shot you a text. I can't remember if you were at softball or you were at home already. You were at home. Your game got canceled. That's right.
Yeah.
So the holidays fall a little awkward this year. On Sunday is Christmas Day, and on New Year's Day it's on Sunday.
Which before they played like one game.
I believe in tradition.
So do I. And that's exactly what I texted you back, didn't I?
Yes. There are certain days and holidays that just own sports.
Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving is owned by the NFL. 3 football games. It was 2 for a long time, then they added the third one. New Year's Day. College football. Rose Bowl on at 5, Sugar Bowl on at 8:30.
Yep.
4th of July. MLB. Christmas Day. NBA. Everyone watches basketball all day.
Even though I hate NBA, I still watch it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sport. It's all in its tradition. They play on Christmas Day. I believe in the order of things. You don't step on your friend's toes to appease yourself. The NFL is doing that.
They are the greediest business alive.
They are. So, Christmas Day falls on a Sunday this year. New Year's Day falls on a Sunday this year. The NFL has came out and said, we are playing 3 games on Christmas Day. And we are apologizing to the NBA in advance. They are playing a game in the afternoon. I'm going to imagine it's going to be like Thanksgiving. They're going to play one at like 12:30. Mm-hmm. They will play one at around 4. And then the 8:30 on NBC.
Well, here's my question to that, too, and we didn't even talk about this aspect yet. Who's getting the rights to those games?
The three big networks. CBS, Fox, NBC.
Yeah, I guess. So you can somewhat simulcast in a way doing NBA and them because you're not going to be... It's not going to go to ESPN.
No.
And that's how they're going to be okay because they play ABC, ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
They don't play any Fox, do they?
No.
No.
That hasn't happened in a long, long time.
But it's just, I mean... I don't know. I get frustrated by it because it's like, let it be alone, let it stay, let it do its own thing, but then you're gonna do, like, they could just play it on Christmas Eve, like they have before in the past.
Mm-hmm. It's a shame. It's all coming down to money. I mean, mind you, I'm not ridiculing it that bad. I don't mind football on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Play 2 games. Play one at like 4 and one at like 8.
I mean,
you know, let your friends in the NBA make their money, or in college football, let you know the networks make their money on New Year's Day. But no, we're going to make them play January 2nd.
What did they say about New Year's Day? Did they say anything?
And I was playing full out New Year's Day.
That usually happens. Usually. Because
I don't think it should, but it does.
It always has, though, because the Rose Bowl always, that every 5 years or so, shifts to Monday. I mean, it gives me an excuse not to do anything on Monday.
I mean, yeah, I mean, New Year's Day is observed on the 2nd this year anyway, so I'm not going to get the day off, but I have to go back to work on the 3rd.
Right.
So I won't stay up and watch the entire Sugar Bowl, obviously, but...
I mean, I get, from a business aspect, I get it. You need to make your money.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. But, I don't know.
You make enough as it is. I mean, it's like $1 trillion business.
Well, and you're continually making money because your ratings, they took a dip in that whole protest era. A little bit. But they're still continuing to get the ratings and, and getting people watching the games and going to the games. I don't know. I wonder if the Steelers will play home on Christmas because sometimes they get that big holiday game.
Yeah, and
I would contemplate if they had the night game. I think it would be kind of cool.
I do too. I don't know if I want to pass on Christmas with my family later that evening to, go to a Steelers game.
But if it's 8 o'clock, I mean, you have from 8 to 5 in the day to spend with like your family. How much leftovers can you eat till 8 o'clock?
Oh, trust me, a lot.
But yeah, that's where I don't know. I think there's a lot of rating things that are going to happen in the next few years and trying to salvage, and I think the whole culture is going to change. I think, especially with the adaptations to more of the mobile watching. I don't see a lot of these big networks going to be able to hang on.
Yeah, I don't know, and that's it. What was I going to say? I can't remember. It wasn't important. I think we'll come back to it.
Speaking of ratings and money and X, Y, and Z, did you see the article that came out about the Pirates? That they were able to pay their payroll and ticket sales and food, beverage, like all the beverage sales and like the apparel in the park by itself.
Yes.
without any TV money. And that really ticks me off because now AT&T Sportsnet is screwing around with this whole new contract. And guess who's holding it up? It's actually, I believe it's I don't know if it's Pirates or the Pens, one of the two. And now I got to shift providers because I can't get AT&T Sportsnet.
Yep, and you know what? Me and my wife, we have Hulu Plus. I'm one of those people I refuse to believe in paying for cable. I believe cable shouldn't be your most expensive bill ever.
Amen.
And we don't get AT&T Sportsnet. I mean, we get ESPN Plus and all that, and you can pretty much watch anything on there. But
you can't watch any hockey.
It's ridiculous. Most games are on there.
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
Can you watch a Pirate game?
At this point, after that 21-zip loss yesterday, I'm not really interested in watching a Pirate game.
I saw that. I said, "Are we playing the Bears in football, or are we playing the Cubs in baseball?" Jesus, that was rough.
Pirates gave up 3 TDs yesterday,
especially when It was 2-0 in the series so far. We beat them the first 2 games, but our bullpen can't last a whole year, so I knew it was going to happen eventually. All right, what do we got in contract talks today?
Okay, so on Good Friday, Stephon Gilmore signed a 2-year, $23 million deal with the Colts. Now they have an elite player at each level of that defensive line. They have DeForest Buckner.
I think it helps them out a lot.
And Stephon Gilmore at the secondary.
I think that's going to really balance out their defensive prowess.
Denzel Ward signs a 5-year, $100.5 million contract extension that includes $71.25 guaranteed. Ward is now the highest paid cornerback in NFL history. Well deserved. He has got toasted some, especially with the receivers in this division.
He's a phenomenal corner, though. My frustration is, when are they going to run out of money?
Soon.
I mean, there's been a lot of big contracts lately.
I'm going to read this next, and then we'll jump into the next one. Cooper Kupp won all 3 receiving crowns this year. Came out and said he isn't worried about breaking the bank for a new deal and wants what's fair for him and what's fair for the team. Colleagues and friends of his, Deebo Samuel, A.J. Brown, Terry McLaurin, are all holding out. They're all seeking new deals. Does that affect the market for them? We're talking about the best wide receiver in the NFL right now, talking like this.
I like the Cooper Kupp deal. I like that he's putting the team first. I'm sorry, but yes, do they need their money? Absolutely. But with the market that it is today, their sponsorships can carry some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess if I was in their shoes, I probably
wide
would think...
receivers are a dime a dozen.
I guess I probably would think a little bit differently if I was in their shoes because I'm a millionaire, but I'd want to win championships.
Mm-hmm.
Winning means so much to me as a team aspect, and it drives me crazy when players don't want to win and they worry about themselves. This is what that is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Titans need work in the offseason. They need chemistry with Ryan Tannehill and him to build it, to play deeper in the playoffs. I don't know.
Speaking of those wide receivers, Deebo Samuel requests trade out of San Francisco. Doesn't want to be used the way he is anymore. I mean, the guy's throwing touchdowns. He's running touchdowns.
I don't blame him.
He lines up as a tight end. He lines up in the slot. He's lined up as a running back. I don't blame him. It's nice having that versatility.
But that team is going to fall
Doing
apart.
that 3-4 times a game is ridiculous.
Yes.
Doing it
twice,
twice a game, maybe once every other game.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps people on their toes, so I don't blame him. Potential landing spots I have for him is the New York Jets, the Green Bay Packers, the Kansas City Chiefs. The New England Patriots are heard to be in on it. The Colts and the Bears I have as wild card teams on the deal.
It would be awesome, though, he'd fit... No, he wouldn't really fit the mold for the Steelers.
No.
He would, but he's not. Deontay and him are too similar. We need an outside guy.
Deontay Johnson, we just got done talking about all these wide receivers wanting new deals. He skipped the workouts down in Florida a few weeks ago that were held by Mitch Trubisky. Do you pay all these guys top receiver money? Is Deontay Johnson worth $18 to $20 million a year?
I don't know.
I heard his... Well, no, not that I heard. I know his draw percentage went from 9% to 3% from 2020 to 2021.
Yeah.
Great. That 3% needs to come down to about 1.5%.
I agree. I think he's gotten better.
Is he worth $18 to $20 million a year?
I don't
you
think
sign
so.
him to long term? Because
that's where
here's what I do with it. I'm going to say here's 2 years. Here's $30 million, $18 million in your first year. If you can get that 3% down to 1.5%, we'll talk about $18 to $20 million, and we'll rework a contract and get you another extension.
My frustration point with this whole thing is like you said, receivers are dime a dozen, and he hasn't done enough for me to get that kind of money, and that's where I go back and forth about what is this first round pick going to be.
Because the Steelers can go anyway. I mean, we have a quarterback, but I mean, they could go wide receiver.
Are we going to play for the future? Pick for the future, or are we going to pick for now? If we're picking for now, we're taking a receiver, we're fixing the 3 of them, and we're going. Put your trust in Trubisky, and let's go. I don't know. But I also see them, if they trade Trubisky, or if they draft Pickett, then we're going to get a draft pick from somebody to take Mason Rudolph off our hands. Which then I want that to be a receiver. Like, if you get a 3rd-round pick for him...
Hell, I think you'd be lucky if you get someone's washing machine in their facility for him at this point.
Oh, I know.
Steelers claim wide receiver Miles Boykin from Ravens off of waivers.
I like this pick.
I like this pickup. This is, you walk into the gas station, you give the cashier $1, you say, give me $1 scratch off. You have a chance to hit big or lose your $1. This is exactly that. If you hit on it, great. He hasn't been really dependable down in Baltimore.
Well, we do need a special teams guy. He plays a lot of special teams. We don't. I think, truthfully, he has to become receiver number 4.
Yes,
he's not receiver number 3.
He needs to take over for Ray McLeod because he left and went to San Francisco.
Like that's where we still need a number 3. I think he's sitting there in the draft somewhere. I have him. I have us picking 2nd round. I have us picking your boy.
Awesome.
I think he's gonna fall because the emergence of Pickens.
Yeah.
And Treylon Burks still we didn't even talk about in the 1st round today. I think he's gonna fall to 52.
Last thing for the NFL, real quick here. Kyler Murray commits to Arizona. Says Arizona is home for him and his family. And wants to bring a Super Bowl to the desert. Huge relief for Cliff Kingsbury. Huge relief. You know, he comes in that year. The year before, they take Josh Rosen. And Josh, I'm sorry, you just never panned out, but you never had a chance. You bounced from the Cardinals to the Dolphins to wherever else he's been playing.
Falcons, I think.
I mean, who the hell knows? I think Atlanta, you're right.
I like Kyler being in Arizona. I think there are a few pieces away from doing something special.
They got to get some offensive linemen. Some of the guys on defense is getting along with it, too. I mean, you have J.J. Watt. He's older. He's probably not going to be there too much longer.
No, but that's the thing. They're in win-now mode.
So, I mean, good luck in that division with the Rams because they're loaded for years to come. I mean, you still got Stafford to deal with for at least half a decade. Cooper Kupp's young. Aaron Donald's still going to play for a long time. Switching to this, it was, I believe...
Hold on. Are we done on the NFL?
Yes.
Before we get there. I am worried about all this contract talk a little bit, just to recap this. I think it's going to do more harm than good. Because if we continue to pay these players more and more and more and more and more, whose costs are going to go up?
Ours.
Ours is the consumer. Those jerseys are going to go up through the roof. You're going to go to a game, you're going to have to spend $200 to sit in the freaking nosebleeds. I don't know. My buddy and I were talking, he's got season tickets for the Penguins. He splits it with some other guy. He's got up in $218 on the blue line. Spends $71 a ticket. Which isn't bad.
No. But
you take that time, and we'll do quick math. I mean, 82 home games, so 41 games is $71. $2,901, $3,000.
Yeah.
Say you
add
have
taxes and stuff onto that too.
Right. And this is where I fight my urge about complaining about tickets. So say you have the NFL, right? $200 a spot. 3,200. I'm sorry. No. 8 games. 1,600. So, like, that's where I get frustrated with. I guess I get it. There's not as many games that they play comparative to the MLB and comparative to
NHL and NBA and all those other ones.
I don't know. It scares me. But go ahead.
Abruptly, I believe it was Wednesday night, Jay Wright calls it a career at Villanova after 21 years. This is shocking. I don't think a lot of people said it. He came out and said, I didn't feel like I had the edge anymore.
Is that why you're wearing a Villanova hat today?
Yes, and that's what I cheer for usually when Duke loses. Wright retires with 2 national championships, 4 Final Four appearances, to which is what I think leads up to the retirement. The last 2 years, the NCAA Hoops has lost Roy Williams, Coach K a few weeks ago, now Jay Wright. Does it make you start to think these older school guys who are in their 60s, well into their 60s, don't like this NIL?
I think it's going to. I think that's going to change the game more, and I think it's going to push some.
I think that's what's really driving these older guys out. I think that's why Coach K is not going to come back. People are saying he's coming back. He's not coming back.
Who's saying he's coming back?
Former players and stuff, and his saying he still has it.
I mean, he might still have it, but he's hanging it up. I mean, but I think you can talk about this as in coaching and in teaching. I mean, I see it in my profession here that like my mother, for example. She's been teaching since 1989 or so. I don't remember. I think she got 34 years. And no offense to her, but like she wasn't trained this way. Mm-hmm. She wasn't trained in this new era of how to operate these things. I mean, look at Coach K. I guarantee you he has no idea how to run a computer.
No.
You know, he has no idea how to paper. He probably has no idea how to pull up recruiting rankings. Like, it's just a new era. I mean, in the entire world. So, frustrating, but...
Yeah, that's starting to make me think this NIL's deal is going to kill some of these older guys. I don't know how it's going to affect, college football here, with Nick Saban and guys like that who are older.
I heard Nick Saban's, putting the foot down. It's the first time in a while they've tackled it spring game.
He's pissed. That lost to Georgia. He's pissed.
Mm-hmm. And so, I think it's going to be a fun fall.
I know. I was saying last night, I can't wait for football season. The summer hasn't even started yet. It's not even May yet.
I laughed that Michigan was in their spring game, and their running game ran all over their defense.
Well, they lost the whole defense.
Yeah. So there was a comment out there because I think Michigan plays Alabama second week, and it was if Harbaugh can run all over his own defense, wait to see what Saban does to his defense in the fall, because it's going to be ugly.
I know, the Big Ten's going to be interesting this year. I think it's going to be first to 40 wins this year, because I don't think anyone's defense is going to be great.
I think our defense got better, though.
It got better, but it's not going to be oh my God, this defense is outstanding.
Unless you're Wisconsin.
Oh, that defense is always good.
But to finish up today, I got some sports going on. I'm about to go coach 2 younger kids games, and then we're about to enter a grind in softball. Hopefully we get some good weather going forward. We're playing today, playing Tuesday, playing Thursday, playing doubleheader Friday.
Counting down the weeks to the porch tour now too.
Counting down the weeks to the porch tour. We're getting ready.
We're getting going. Hey, you're finishing up softball season here the next couple of weeks, and
summer is just around the corner.
Yep. And so we're starting our porch tour off at your house.
I am.
That's
Friday, May 27th, right?
Yep, and then the following Saturday we're going to be at my parents' house. Because my grandparents want to be here to see the porch tour, and then,
okay.
We have about, 6 or 7 other stops still.
So, I told Brennan before the show we weren't going to get in and out today. It's at 34 minutes, Brennan.
Is it?
I told you we can get in and out.
This is a nice short episode today. There's not a lot going on. Next week's going to be probably a very long show with the draft. Depending on what day we record next week, hell, we might be able to watch some of the draft live in studio. We
Absolutely.
On Saturday or whatever, Sunday.
So, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. There is a little bit difference. If you noticed at the beginning today, there was some pre-show music that we were trying to get out. I was just really swamped with work this week.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know what you think. We're still trying to edit it. It's not really converting well from a GarageBand file into our other files, but it's going to work. So, for Brennan and for Dave, we hope you enjoyed episode 14? 15?
15.
15. Jeez, all right. And we will see you soon for the NFL Draft next week. Talk to you later, guys.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for listening. For the latest updates on the show and what's going on with Limitless Sports with the BD team, make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube page and follow us on Facebook.